Welcome back, everybody.
We are back. We're back in the cabin.
That we are. The cabin we are.
Oh, let me turn down my volume.
Turn your volume down.
All right. Do some shares.
How's everybody doing tonight? Hopefully well. As we get a couple shares out of the way here, and we'll get started with tonight's show. Good weekend, Dan?
Absolutely.
Oh, I am wore out. I feel like I drove around the entire state of Michigan. Probably because I did. Half of it anyway.
All right.
Okay, man, people are piling in already here. Let's see.
All right, I'm typing faster than my fingers are allowing me here.
Hey, Courtney. Hey, Mike. What's going on?
There we go.
How are y'all doing tonight? Hopefully everybody's doing well. And, you know, I updated Facebook on my phone. How many times have I said, don't update Facebook because they change everything?
Right.
It makes it hard to do the things you normally do.
I tell you what, it's changed.
Oh,
That's
man.
one. Here's another.
Let me know when you're all set there and we'll get rocking.
I will.
If you guys got anything specific you'd like to ask or have us talk about tonight, throw some questions up.
All right.
We got some stuff planned, but
We could always field questions.
that's right. We'll always chase a rabbit or two,
Right.
or a groundhog.
Don't have to.
I've been blazing this weekend, man, or this week. Actually, the last 3 weeks, stacking them like cordwood.
Yes, you have been. 2 more to go. And then we can rock on.
All right.
I wish I could just do it once and hit them all, but
Right, and make it a lot easier.
yeah.
Make it a whole lot easier. Let's see if I can get this one fired up tonight. Oh, this one's wanting to update. No, we're not going to do that.
Right. And last but not least, over here.
Mike says he is doing well. Courtney, how's everybody's weekend? I spent a lot of time driving this weekend and working. Worked up at deer camp a little bit, and then I took off to the elk woods.
There you go. All right.
Let's see what else here. Okay. Hey, Charles, what's going on? Michael Ryder, what is going on? Thanks for joining us tonight. I watched Charles walk his dog the other night.
Did you?
Yeah, he was live on Facebook, like what we're doing right now.
Was it dark?
Yes.
Okay, I think I caught part of that. I saw it in headlights or something.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we were talking. He didn't have his reading glasses with him, so I had to type in all uppercase so he could read it as big bold letters. Charles, next time you walk the dog, make sure you take your readers with you.
Oh, what happens when we get old?
Right. When if you go live on Facebook.
Right, exactly.
Okay. You ready?
Yep.
All right. Let me get this thing rolling here, and we'll get going. Here we go. Stand by in 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back to another episode of the Up North Journal Podcast, everybody. I'm host Mike Adams, sitting in the cabin tonight with the air conditioning and Dan DeFaw.
Absolutely. Killer Adams.
I've been slaying.
You have been. You've been. I was eyewitness to it today.
You were.
You walked in. I walked in and said, "You want to witness this live?"
You want to film a groundhog going down? I'm surprised you didn't break open the camera and take it. The elk hunt. Actually, Court, we're going to get into that. That's what we're going to talk about tonight.
In the first segment of the show tonight.
Hey, Ken Cicluna, what's going on? Thanks for joining.
But yeah, so you're up to number 8.
Yeah. They. I'm passing out eviction notices. I'm passing them out in these.
But now you're out of that ammo.
I actually have to get my coyote ammo. My hand loads out. My reloaded ammo.
Exactly.
I don't like that at all. That's a little more expensive.
Well, or do you want a dug up yard?
Well, they've already kind of moved in. There's 3 different den sites, and
You want to have some fun?
I've passing out eviction notices. Well,
Pour some gas down them and light them?
no, because they're under two of them. One's under an outbuilding, the other one's under my garage, and the other one's next to the house under the deck. So no, I don't want to burn stuff down.
Oh. I was going to suggest some M80s, but...
Well, I was going to fill the holes full of water, but I can't get to them. Well, I'll get to one, but...
So you got the under the deck?
What's that?
You got one under the deck?
Yeah. A family moved in under the deck, and I can't get to them because they're always back in the corner against the house.
Wow.
Yeah, but I think I got... Well, I don't know if I got rid of them. I shot one of those that came out of there Thursday. I think it was Thursday.
Wow.
2 today. 1 this morning. 1 when you walked in. I've had it, man. I tell you, I've had it. And the neighbor missed one, and he shot one, so that's 9.
You two guys are just racking them up.
Yeah, he's 50-50. He's 1 for 2, and I'm 8 for 9.
Right.
I did miss one, but hey, that's the way it goes. But no, it was a busy weekend. I took off up north after work. Friday night, went to deer camp. And
How was the drive?
Drive was good. It was a good drive up. Beautiful drive. Traffic wasn't bad at all.
Good.
Although I did get flipped off one time.
Oh, not bad.
Yeah.
Just once?
Just once.
Not bad.
Yeah, had to laugh at the guy, and his wife. She flipped me off too.
Oh, nice.
So.
Did you leave after work on Friday?
Yes. Yeah. Freeway was packed around Flint. Once I got above base, Saginaw, shit thinned out, so wasn't bad. No, it was a great drive. Saw a lot of deer on the way up.
Chris Kreiner said good shooting.
Yeah. Hey, I could use you over here for backup, Chris. Man, I tell you what, they're invading.
Right. Exactly.
Stinking groundhogs. I'm putting them out back for coyote bait though.
You come back today?
No, I came back last night.
Okay.
Late last night.
Good, because I guess there was an RV. The one that was being pulled kind of came off the hitch and crashed at Corona Road.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I'm sure that was a nightmare.
Blew apart?
I'm sure it became part of a lot of the highway.
Wow. And that happens every summer.
Oh, yeah, it does.
We were coming back from Bay City when we were doing the fireworks festival, and I was pulling our utility trailer for the TV station. And there was another guy behind me from the station in a company vehicle. And he said I didn't see it, a guy was pulling a boat, and as he come up by my trailer, he started getting the huckabuck on the road and almost took my trailer out.
Really?
I didn't see it, I was cruising.
A couple weeks ago, I was heading south on 23, and I was in the right-hand lane, and in the left-hand lane was a SUV, like a crossover vehicle pulling a trailer.
Right.
And in the trailer, they had 2 mattresses stacked, and they had a tie-down going across. In the middle. We came across. We came underneath the Owen Road Bridge, and all of a sudden, one of those mattresses took
Lifted.
flight.
Yeah.
It came out of the trailer in slow motion. I'm looking at this thing, going, "I'm doomed."
Did you drive under it?
I drove literally right past it.
Really?
And it landed in the left-hand lane, luckily, and then skidded over to the side.
Wow.
That was one. And then just a few days ago, we were traveling north up to Frankenmuth, and I was kind of playing tag with this truck pulling this pontoon boat. And he's on my right, he's on my left, he passes me, I pass him.
Right.
Well, he gets in the left lane and he's passing me. And all of a sudden, it was covered. It had a cover. And all of a sudden... Well, it still stayed covered. But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, comes this blue dustpan in slow motion into my lane, and it hits right for my windshield. Hits my windshield and obliterates into like 50 million pieces.
Good thing it was plastic.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but yes, traveling on the highway can be dangerous.
I tell you, it's guys and gals, when you're out there traveling the roads, back your pickup, trailers, whatever, make sure your stuff is tied down, secured, not going anywhere. Double check the hitches on them.
Absolutely.
Safety chains.
That's most important.
I watched a pontoon actually come off of a truck on a trailer. This was coming back. This was years ago. I was following it down M65.
Really?
It hit a bump and it came off. No safety chains, and it kind of nosed down, and it had a wheel, but it was cranked up, so it kind of nosed down, and it rolled, and it pulled up, like it pulled right over next to a mailbox and stopped.
Come on.
Dead serious. Dead serious. I mean, it took a little while, but
Yeah.
it freaked me out because the truck kept going, and I'm like, you know, I'm
man.
like, this thing's going to come off. It's going to blow apart, whatever. But, yeah, I hit the brakes and stopped and watched it. It was pretty wild. When the guys backed up, they were shaking like a leaf.
I totally get it. Totally get it.
So,
But, that's all about safety. And when you got things on, if you got one of those hitch haulers, make sure it's not close to the exhaust.
yeah, we saw one of our, we won't mention any names,
Nope.
but one of our friends, actually, Courtney, if you're still watching, you know
You'll
who
know
this
who
is,
this is.
had a box, a tote, and had it on the back of a tow deck, or one of those receivers that has a little platform, and the exhaust was right where the box, the tote was,
Plastic tote was.
and melted it.
Melted it nicely.
So, hey, before we get going too far tonight, don't forget Hunter's Blend Coffee. I want to give them a shout out, 10% off of your order if you use the UMJ promo code, and you will get 10% off of your order. So make sure that you use that right there, UMJ.
That's right.
Hunter's Blend Coffee.
Tastes good tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tastes good tonight. I had this morning, matter of fact, as well.
Did you?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I had some earlier today too.
I was out early painting this morning before the sun got too high.
Well, I did some work up at camp.
Yes,
Before I
you
get
did.
into the elk stuff, I one of the reasons I went up north was, and just going to put this out there because actually we're looking for a couple members at our lodge. We've got 2 memberships available, and I wanted to move my room into another room. So that was my busy Saturday morning.
Okay, so you're moving.
I was moving. So I cleaned everything out, everything my dad left.
Couldn't be 2 men in a truck. It'd be Mike and a.
I only wanted really with two garbage bags full of stuff to throw away out of the room. I thought it was going to be a ton more. It could have been, should have been maybe. I don't know. But long story short, got everything moved and got rid of some stuff, and yeah, got settled in. So
Had some good weather up there.
beautiful weather. Actually, it was hot. It got really hot during the day. So with that being said, I was just roasting. Had the windows open, had a fan on, trying to stay cool, and yeah, it was hot.
Oh yeah, I'm assuming the wind died down and there was no wind at all, movement.
Right. It wasn't miserable, but it was just hot.
It's hot. There's no doubt about it.
No, I wanted to move. I wanted to get down all the way to the end of the hall so I could actually bring my stuff in the door and go right into my room instead of bringing it all the way down the hall. Every time I go up north hunting, you know me. I mean, I pack everything but the kitchen sink.
You got to.
When I go up for a week, I take everything. And by the time I get done, logging everything in, taking it all the way down the hall and getting in the room, I'd rather just come in the door, bang, right there, boom, in, be done with it.
Right, exactly.
So that's what I did.
And that's the funny thing about that is every time you go up north, it's like, no, I'm only gonna go for a couple days, and you still end up taking a bunch of stuff.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, Courtney saw it.
That's why she saw it. It melted.
Right, it did.
Tim C. says, nice shirt, by the way.
Thank you very much. Proud supporter of the Up North Journal.
That's right.
So, did you see anything?
Yes, I did. I saw a bunch of geese at camp. A ton of geese.
On the lake?
Yeah, on the lake and in the pond. Yep. Actually, I have a picture. I should have put it up.
So are they hanging out there?
Yeah, they still got some juveniles. They're
Oh,
not,
really?
Yeah, they're not. There's some that aren't just ready to quite take flight yet. I think most of them are probably going to start getting to where. I think this is about the time of year, right around the middle of July is usually when they start taking flight. I think maybe August.
It's mid-July, so it's getting pretty close. I
Yeah.
know the little footballs are getting bigger. So,
But there is one flock that the broods don't have. The young geese don't have their full plumage yet.
Oh,
they're still that fuzzy grayish brownish color.
so they were late.
Yeah, late clutch.
But really, here in Michigan, they can be late like that and not have to worry about really much here.
We need to thin them out.
Well, that goes to say with all Canadian geese.
Right.
You know, that's one thing I did notice around where I work. In the spring, we had a whole bunch of them.
Mm-hmm.
Now all of a sudden they're all gone. I'm kind of curious as to what happened.
Yeah, what made them move?
Yeah, I wonder if they had somebody come in over the weekend and kind of help them evacuate.
Shoo them out of there, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because I was like, because I would drive the around campus and I'd easily see 5, 6 on nests.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay. And all of a sudden they all disappeared. So I wonder if they captured them and moved them. That's what I'm thinking they happened. Because I know we had, in the last few years, we've had a series of attacks.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah.
People get a little too close?
A little too close.
All right.
That's what happens.
And the geese can be a little aggressive.
Right.
So, hey, I tell you what, why don't we go ahead and let's take our first break. We come back, we'll kind of jump into some other stuff here.
Let's do it.
We'll be right back after this. And for those of you on the live stream, if you got any questions or anything, there was one talking about the elk stuff that we were talking about.
Yeah, we'll get to that. And Courtney, you're right. There are a lot of geese around. There's a ton of geese everywhere. She's got geese, and I think she's out east.
Yeah,
and,
so that's that Atlantic flyway over there. So
right. So
do you get a lot of snow geese over that way as well? We get Canadians here. That's primarily what we have here.
Right.
Or maybe over there it's Brants. I'm not sure.
Well, let's see if she answers this.
So we'll see.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Save this one off. I'm kind of dragging tonight.
Well, it's been a long weekend. I worked outside Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That was fun.
All right. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back. Second segment of the show. Talking about critters, talking about up north, all kinds of good stuff.
Talking about some scout. Well, speaking of, our question that we have on there.
Question we posted.
Yeah, we got a question up on the live feed.
Have you put trail cameras out?
Yeah, have you gotten the trail cameras out there? Some do it all year round. Some do it part of the time. And some do it just before hunting season.
Right.
So we just kind of want to know if mine are out.
75% yes so far.
Yours are not out.
No. And actually,
and the reason I know this is because there's a big pile of them right over there that I have to step over to get to the lights.
Yep. Those are for here in Michigan. We've got the Cuddy Link system that we're using down in Indiana.
Is that up and running?
No.
Oh.
I'm gonna get down and hopefully here soon and help them get that up and running.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, the boys down there have been really busy and things are starting to get close here. So it's oh no, Courtney says
just Canadian.
Just Canadian geese. Yeah.
Yeah, and they crap everywhere. Yeah,
so, but no, we've got to get that system up and running. Deer are starting to put bone on their head at a tremendous rate right now. Starting to see a few pictures come back from the northern Michigan area. People are posting and
they're growing.
Yeah, they're growing.
I'll have to get the picture of the one in the backyard.
We've still got another 3-4 weeks possibly that they can put bone on their head. So, it's get them cameras out.
Yep. Courtney says she has her one camera out there, and Charles Byram says the countryside where you were scouting for elk is beautiful.
Yeah, I did a little live stream from that.
Yeah,
I tried to as best I could because I knew once I got into the area deep, I'd lose signal.
Oh, absolutely.
So I made it in about 9 minutes.
Is that what it was? 9 minutes?
And then it went, yeah. But, yeah, that area is absolutely beautiful. I don't even know where to begin this story.
Actually, I don't know where there isn't a beautiful place north.
Well, there's something very special about the Pigeon River area. It's a sanctuary kind of, there is hunting allowed there, but there's no RVs, no off-road vehicles allowed. This is pristine wilderness. It's simply an amazing place. And I shot my first buck there when I was
that one?
Yep, the one up here on the wall when I was 17 years old. And I've talked about this a couple different times on the show before, but when I shot that buck, it was running with a big bull elk, and it was in this area. And this is where I'm going elk.
That still kills you that the buck was running with a bull elk.
Well, there was 10 deer. It was a group. I saw the bull coming out of the woods, and I'm like, oh my gosh, the first one I'd ever really seen. I'm a 17-year-old snot-nosed kid, and I'm just in awe. And back then, in 1981, we weren't hunting them here in Michigan.
No.
They weren't. You could not hunt them. And I knew they were in the area, but this thing comes crashing through the woods. Big old huge rack on it. And I'm just focused on that. And all of a sudden, I see movement behind him, and here comes all these deer. And the bull stops about 30 yards away, and the deer keep coming in front of me. I'm like, doe, 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 doe. And I'm looking, and the last one's a buck. Pull up, and I shot it and dropped it. And the elk stood there.
No, really?
I'm like, dude, go get, and he's not afraid of me because they're not being hunted.
No,
He's like, you're in my area.
Could care less.
He's kind of rustling these antlers, and
it is their rut, right?
yeah, doing his thing. And I'm like, geez, old Pete's. And I kind of got behind a tree and waited it out, and he milled around, and I gutted the deer out, and he stood around while I was gutting the deer.
Really?
Yeah, I kept the rifle close hand.
Didn't take off or nothing.
No. So it was quite an adventure.
Yeah, for your first deer,
Yeah.
let alone a buck, you got an elk with it. And,
Yeah.
Here you are many years later getting ready to go chase a cow elk. But how big was the buck? How big was the elk?
Oh, jeez, I don't know. I didn't count points.
All right, it was a
It
big
was
rack.
big. It was big. Yeah. I mean,
But wow,
it wasn't your typical 4 or 5 by 5. I mean, it was huge. I mean, it had back scratchers and the whole 9 yards.
this kind of brings up something to me that you seem to be hunted a lot.
What do you mean?
Well, you shot your first buck,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And an elk stood around. And
Yeah.
At one time, he could have charged you, but he didn't.
Yeah.
And wasn't it last year the coyotes were kind of surrounding?
Oh,
you?
yeah. yeah.
Wow, I see a pattern here.
Yeah. I don't know what the deal is.
You better not get around any bears.
I've had close encounters with them too. So, but yeah, so, lo and behold, I drew an elk tag this year. 40,000 people put in for elk tags here in Michigan this year, over 40,000, and for 200 tags. And I was fortunate enough to draw one. I think there's 30 of those 200 are bull tags.
Okay.
So, the odds of getting a bull tag are even greater, or even less, even harder to get than what I got. So.
Right, exactly.
But I've been putting in for over 20 years for these things, so it's been a long time. And some people get put in for their whole lives and never get them. So
Well, that's it, right? You said 40,000 put in for it.
yeah, for 200 tags. You doing the math? He's quickly typing. And
For a bull, if you said there was 30 tags,
yeah,
that would be a .0007
Wow.
chance.
0.0007.
Right.
Wow.
So, anyways, but you got it. So you went up scouting.
Yeah, I took off this weekend. I mean, like I said, I had 2 different things I wanted to do. I wanted to go move my room, move furniture out of my room, get into the other room. And then the idea was to, at that point, take off and head up into elk country, which is about an hour and a half drive from our camp. And I was going to spend the rest of the day there.
Okay.
Scouting, doing whatever. The biggest thing, there's a mandatory meeting place you have to meet at for the DNR the day before the hunt begins.
Yes.
It's mandatory. You don't purchase a tag. You purchase a receipt for the hunt. And once you get that receipt, you take that with you to this mandatory meeting. You check in, and you go through this hour, maybe 2-hour little meeting, and they tell you the do's, the don'ts, let you ask questions, give you tips, all that kind of stuff. And from that point, when you're done with the meeting, then you get to go over and they issue you your tag
Right.
for the area that you're hunting. And that's the way that works.
And Charles Barham's got a quick question here.
Yep.
Seemed like there was a lot of traffic up there in the elk area. Was that other hunters scouting or just tourists?
Actually, Charles, that area, there was a lot. I think I ran across 3 or 4 different cars that were, as I was driving.
Okay.
There is a lot of traffic in that area this time of the year because the people will come up from downstate. They'll go north. People go up north to go camping, kayaking, vacationing, whatever. And that area is known for the elk. And they have viewing areas. And actually, I pulled off to a viewing area at one point, and that's where I started the first car that he's talking about. And it's a big food plot, huge food plot out there. And that's people will park and watch them
Yeah.
do their thing. But there was none there that evening.
Oh, okay.
So
So, and Tim CS is asking, Courtney, he drew a cow tag, and Tim says, what's your opinion of the lottery system for residential hunters?
obviously, I think it's good because I got a tag.
But no, I think the lottery, they changed it.
It's weighted.
Well, in the beginning,
You just
you just put in, and then as the years went by, you started noticing people getting drawn a couple times.
Yep.
And people are getting really upset about that.
Yep.
And it was like, wait, why is that person having a second, third, and fourth chance?
When I haven't even gotten one, I've been putting in for how long?
Exactly. So I think they changed it to weighted, and then they also changed it that if you get a bull tag.
If you draw a bull tag, you can never hunt elk in Michigan again.
Yep.
You can never put in for the draw again.
Yep, it's done. And then if you get a cow tag,
It's 10 years.
yep, you got to wait 10 years.
Except there is one caveat to that. It's called the Pure Michigan Hunt. Even though I've got a cow tag and I'm done for 10 years, I can no longer put into that draw. I could buy opportunities to get into what's called the Pure Michigan Hunt. And if you get drawn, I think there's 4 people that are drawn for that a year. It's like a lottery.
Yep.
What you get there is you get a deer tag, you get a bear tag, you get a turkey tag, and you get an elk tag.
Yep.
And I don't know if the elk is a bull. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. But anyway, that's another way you can have an opportunity to do that. I've never put in for that.
I haven't either.
Yeah, I put in for the other one.
Right.
But the way they weighted this system now is when you put in, like, they take all your cumulative years. Let's just say 20, because I know I put in for at least 20, if not longer. This year I had 20 chances to be drawn. My name went in the hat 20 times. So every time you put in for it and you're not drawn, your point total goes up, and that's another opportunity for your name to go in the hat the following year.
If you aren't selected, does your points carry over?
What do you mean?
Like, okay, so let's say you put in this year.
Yeah.
You had 20 chances.
Yeah.
You got drawn, but let's say you didn't get drawn. Are you still accumulating? Would you get 21 next year?
Yeah, they keep accumulating until you're drawn or until you quit putting in. You can stop putting in for a period of 5 years. After 5 years, your points go to 0.
I'm at 15, I think.
Okay. So that's kind of the way that works.
Right. So,
But no, I really think the way they do it now is a lot more fair than what it was in the past.
yeah, I think so too. I think, like you said, getting a bull tag, you're done.
Yep.
You know, there's your ultimate chance. Cow tag, we'll just wait 10 years and then maybe get a bull tag.
Right.
It's fair.
Yep.
Because, like you said, there's only 200 out of 40,000 a year.
Yep.
And then when you start hearing this person that got a second and third chance, you're like,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things. Tom Gensel says still applying every year, forever, even before points. Tom, does that make you that old if you've been applying forever?
I can't remember when they started the point draw. I want to say it was in the late 80s. I think it was in the late. Maybe it was in the mid 80s.
Can you shoot any cow, or does it have to be a certain size?
Don't know that yet. I assume it's any cow.
I think it's any cow,
according to the guide that I'm going to use.
Right. So driving around, it was hot, it was humid.
Yeah, it was the bugs were out. It was.
How were those bugs?
They were thick as thieves, man.
Were they?
Yeah, they were. They were
about
pretty
that
bad.
Time of year.
So, but yeah, I went up through the area, and I had my trusty map with me that I got. This is what is given to you when you draw a tag, and the little purple dots is the 2019 elk sighting that they've got so far.
Where people?
No, I take that back. Yes, that is 2019 sightings. The purple dots are. The black dots are the 2018 December hunt kill sites.
Okay. So they give you kind of a directory as to where things are happening.
Yeah. And I used this map. I was going to drive around through the area, and I got about halfway through where I wanted to go. And at that point, when you get in deep into this area, these roads, sometimes you don't know if it's a road or if it's a 2-track, because there's really no road signs, and you got to kind of play it by ear and kind of look at the land features and where you're at and figure out how far you've traveled. And I got turned around, and where I wanted to go, I wound up driving completely through the entire area all the way to the north side and having to come back around. It was getting dark. I'm like, okay, I got to get out of here before it gets dark, just so I can see my way out of here. So, but see, that's the map here, and I'm going to zoom in here. I want to actually, you know what? Let's take a break. We come back. We'll dig into this just a little.
And as we go to break, to answer Tim Cias's question, what is the estimated population? Quickly, I looked.
1,600?
2018 survey estimated 1,173.
1173, okay. And they want to keep it below 1,000, I think, is usually where they want to keep them, like 900 to 1,200, usually in that range. So, all right, I tell you what, we're going to step outside. We'll take another break. We'll be right back. We'll continue the conversation. All right, everybody. Thanks for the questions. Good questions.
Good questions. Always good to have good questions. Good coffee.
I wish I would have taken more pictures and video.
But you were kind of scouting.
Well,
You were driving.
yeah, I'll dig a little into that here in just a second. Wait, that ain't right. Don't do that. We'll be redoing a segment.
No, we're not.
Don't want to do that.
No, let's not do that.
I can't type tonight.
Tired fingers.
Yeah. All right, there we go. Here we go. Stand by in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back. Third segment of the show. Talking elk.
Yeah, we are. We're
Michigan
talking
elk.
elk. Michigan elk. The coveted Michigan elk tag.
Charles asked, is it a cow tag or antlerless tag? That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that yet. We'll find that out. They say cow tag, but does that mean antlerless? I don't know the answer to that, quite honestly. And that's something I got to get clarification on.
That's why you go to the meeting.
That's why you go to the meeting. So,
Right?
but in the break I was talking about, I wish I'd have taken more photos or video, but when I got a late start. We'll backtrack just a little bit.
Well, you were cleaning out your room.
Yeah, and that took a lot longer than I thought. By the time I got up into the elk area, it was like, I want to say 4:30-ish.
Okay.
And I knew around 6, 7 o'clock-ish, elk would start moving in the area. Typically, that's when they're mostly seen in the evening. But there were some things I wanted to drive by and make sure I found the meeting place, which I did. I found out where that was at, made sure of that. Don't want to wait till the last minute when you get into town and go, oh, whoa, where do I got to go? Yeah, where do I got to go? The other thing I wanted to do is I wanted to find a room to stay in while I was there.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure I could get something booked well enough in advance to where I had a place to stay. Because up there, there's not a lot. There's not a lot of options.
Yeah. Especially, and remember, being December, this is also like an off season. It's not the touristy season
Unless we got a lot of snow.
unless you get the sleds. But
Yep. But it could be a bad time of the year to try. They could be shut down.
right, exactly. And Charles asked, while you're scouting, do you have a base map app or Onyx app to help you scout?
No, actually, I just use the map that I just threw up here on the picture. This is what I've got, and I know this area somewhat because this is where I first started cutting my teeth hunting, and the main roads and stuff I kind of know, and I've been in this wilderness area 3 or 4 times in the last 7-8 years doing some fishing on the trout streams there. So I've kind of plundered around enough to know kind of where things are at and generally find my general direction through there.
Right.
But the other thing I wanted to do is not get the room secured. I also wanted to find restaurants, places to eat. Because you got to worry if you can't cook inside your room, if you don't have facilities.
Yeah, you got to find a place to eat.
You got to find a place to eat. So that was something else I wanted to do. and I wanted to be fairly close to where my guide was. So I got up in the area, and I made a quick call. The guide, his son lives right down the street here. Friends of our family. We've been...
Oh, here, right here.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
literally just down the road here, like maybe a quarter mile. We all grew up together. We co-owned a piece of land with a cabin on it when I was about 4 years old, and that's where I first cut my teeth in the outdoors, was up there. So I'm kind of going back full circle, to where,
Right,
where I
exactly.
learned how to get out in the woods as a kid, a little kid. So I called him up and said, "Hey, what's the name of that place that you recommended for those rooms?" And he told me, and he said, "Well, where are you at?" And I said, "Well, I just got off the freeway." I said, "I'm here in town." I said, "But I just need to know the direction to go." So I was only about 3 miles away.
Oh, okay.
So hung up the phone, drove down to the place, and started talking to the owner and told him my situation. And he's like, "Yeah." He said, we got rooms and everything. He said, "We can get you booked." And he said, well, who recommended you? What was his name again? And before I could get the words out of my mouth, the guy called on the phone. He called his dad, which lives about 3 miles on the other side of the freeway. He drove over.
Okay.
And I said, "Him." And I pointed to the door. So he come in.
Nice.
It was kind of cool. And we sat and we talked and reminisced, and all of a sudden, an hour and a half had passed.
Right.
So, but let me throw a little picture up here for those of you on the live stream. This is what we're going to be staying in.
Nice.
A little place called Toasties.
Toasties. And Courtney, have either of you guys shot an elk in any other states?
No.
Nope.
Never even hunted elk. I've hunted mule deer out in Colorado.
Right.
But I've never been elk hunting. So this is all brand new to me. And that's the thing too. Here's another picture of Toasties. But yeah, just little cabins, 2-bedroom cabins. And they do have a kitchen in them, so I can cook.
Oh, nice.
So in case I don't wind up going to the restaurant and don't want to spend that money, then I've got that option as well.
Tim C.S. is asking why so few numbers.
Of
Must be for elk, I take it.
Because they do not want them to basically deforest the area. They're in this prime wilderness area, and it's micromanaged
Yeah, they micromanage their elk.
to a point where they do not want this elk population to explode.
Right.
And take off. Because outside of this area is a lot of ag land, and the farmers do not want the elk in the ag fields.
No, they don't. They do a number on those fields.
So, the hay and the other crops that are there, they definitely want to keep them contained in this area. So, and the fact that they make this revenue off this lottery system too. And then the tags, my tag, it's $100.
Yep.
So they generate
five for the
Yeah.
application and
$5 for the
$100
application, and yep, exactly.
So yeah, but so you found Toasties.
Yeah.
The guide came over and talked to you.
Yeah, and actually, what I like about this place, throw a picture back up here again, is he said, "Well, how long are you going to be up here for?" I said, "The entire week." And I said, "So how does this work?" Hint, hint. I don't want to pay for an entire week. If I shoot my elk early, I don't want to pay for a week I'm not going to be here.
Right. If I shoot it on day one,
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
And he said, "Well, the way we do it, we do a minimum of 3 days, and then we go day by day."
Okay.
I thought, that's fair enough.
Right.
That's easy. So
Well, truthfully, if you shoot it on the day it opens, it's not gonna be a couple hour thing to get this all taken care of.
no.
It's a whole process that you gotta go get it checked. You gotta.
Yeah. Well, and we talked. My guy, we talked about that a lot. He said, he went through all the questions I had in my mind. As soon as I drew this tag, I'm like, "Oh man, I don't know anything about this."
Right.
I know what elk are. I know what caliber gun I'm going to use, but who do I get a hold of? Where do I go? What's the process of getting a tag? What's the process of getting it checked in? And then what do I do with it once I've got it? I'm done with all that. I'm not going to be able to butcher this myself. This thing's huge.
What? Don't have a crane around to pick it up?
Well, yeah. I mean, those are some things I really started thinking about. I'm like, what am I going to do? So my guide, luckily, like I said, they're friends of ours. He's really going to help me out.
Right.
This is what's really good about knowing who's going to guide you. And he said, "Don't worry about it." He said, "You don't need to bring up your trailer. Don't worry about none of that." He goes, we'll get the tractor out. He said, long as we can get a tractor to it, he said, we'll pick it up, put it in the back of my truck. We'll drive it over to the DNR headquarters because there's a mandatory check place you have to take it to. And you also, the kill site, you have to mark off and let them know where the kill site is, take GPS coordinates. They come back and check the kill site to make sure you did everything legally.
Right.
Make sure you didn't injure another one. I guess that's a problem with people. They get excited and they don't wait to make sure they got a clear shot. And all of a sudden there's two, they shoot through one and hit another one. There's all those types of things. So they just want to make sure. That's how careful they are about this elk herd.
Yeah, it's really micromanaged. I mean,
it is.
They check everything. The biologists are on top of it and the numbers and
yeah. And then he asked me. He said, "Well, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to try to take it home?" I'm like, "Nah, I don't want to. That's a long way to take meat home. If it's warm, I'm screwed."
Right.
I said, "Do you have a butcher that you recommend?" He goes, "Yep." He said, "The guy that I use is excellent." He said, "We take all of our elk there, and everybody that comes through me, we take them over to him, and he does a great job." And
there you go.
Highly recommended. So that's what I'm going to do.
Now that sounds like a plan.
He said, "We'll take it from the field, put it in the truck, we'll drive it to the DNR, we'll go from there, we'll go over to the butcher shop." And he says, "What are you going to do with it after that? Are you going to have a mount done with it?" I'm like, "Well, it's a cow. Don't really want to spend that kind of money on a taxidermy mount of just a cow head. I mean, I hate to say it, but that's a lot of money." I said, "Maybe a European mount. I don't know. Maybe keep that.
Be a big skull,
and I want to keep the hide.
Yep.
I want to have the hide tanned. So, beyond that and the meat, and call it good."
Cool.
So,
but like you said, it's always good to have somebody that knows how the process works.
Well, yeah, because I went with a guy. Probably 5 years ago, 6 years ago, maybe 7. Guy I used to work with. He drew a tag, and he wanted me to go take a camera and videotape. So I went with. He did a do-it-yourself hunt, and we drove around for 3 days, hunted hard, never saw an elk. And I'm like, I don't want that to happen to me.
Right.
So, luckily, I knew of 2 people immediately who do guide. And in the booklet, which I don't have here with me, it's in the other room.
Yeah, they gave you a whole list.
There's like 30 or 40 guides that they recommend, and my guide is on that list.
Gotta like that.
So, yeah, it's I'm excited, man.
Absolutely,
it kind of became real yesterday.
Oh, when you're driving around, thinking, "Wow, I'm gonna be out here in a few short months."
Yep. So it's all good.
It'll be good. It'll be better when you're slaving over dragging that thing out.
One other thing I wanted to kind of show here. I'm going to zoom in on the map. We'll talk a little bit about this. For those of you on the live stream be able to see this, people on the podcast won't, but if you look on here, it says the green timber area here. That area there is exactly where I shot my first buck.
Nice.
I tried to find the parking area.
Oh, did you find it?
No, I did not. I think now I know why, and I think I know where it's at. I just think it's on another road that I didn't go down. So when I go back up again,
you're gonna find it.
Well, I don't know if I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna try.
I'm gonna look for it.
But if you look on this map, you see these green triangles on this map. The green triangles are rectangles or diamonds, whatever you call them. They're diamonds. The green diamonds are managed food plot areas that the DNR puts in.
Oh, okay.
For the elk.
Ah.
And obviously the ones that are close to the roads are the viewing areas.
Right. But you got a couple that are kind of deep in there, it looks like.
Yeah. And like I said, the black circles are kill sites from last December's hunt, and the purple squares are places where elk have been seen so far in this year's count.
Nice. Nice. And people can, I think, go online and do that. I'm not sure how they do that for the sightings.
I don't know. I don't know if that was like an organized DNR survey that they did at some point in time this year, or if that was, like you said, where people are just actually seeing them. So.
And so purple was this. Okay, I see it. Oh, so the 2 that were right above were on private land.
Yeah.
Oh, sneaky.
So. Somebody said it froze. I'm wondering if we're talking about our live feed. If our live feed froze up.
So far, not on our end.
Okay, good.
We're still rocking and rolling.
Good. But yeah, it really became real yesterday when I drove up into the area. Once I went to the place where the rooms were, and I talked to that gentleman, and I started talking about reserving a room and everything. It became, all of a sudden, it started to become real. I just wish I'd have seen some elk. And actually, I tell you what, I want to give the reason why this time of the year we probably didn't see them. We're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, I want to cover that. So we'll be right back after this. And those of you on the live stream, if you guys got any questions, throw them my way, Danny's way.
Yeah, throw them our way, and we'll try to answer them best of our ability. Hopefully, Courtney. Scott Davis train.
Hey, Scott, what's going on? That's our Mossy Oak Gamekeeper manager.
That's right.
All the way from Kentucky. How's it going in Kentucky? Is it hot down there?
I'm going to say it's hot down there.
I bet it is. I bet it's real hot down there.
Did you see they had that tropical storm come through?
Yeah.
Did you see the video of the deer?
No.
Swimming?
I've always had that question.
It was under the premise of wildlife were having issues too.
Yeah.
And they had 3 deer going. They were actually swimming. It was a buck and 2 does. Nice buck, but
yeah, I've always wondered, the wildlife gets flooded out just like what we do as humans in areas.
Yeah.
I just you wonder what happens.
Right.
So. Oh, I got a low battery here on this one. I guess I'll have to let you monitor now.
I'll monitor.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Here we go. Stand by. 3, 2, and 1. This is our last segment?
It is.
Wow. Man, this show's kind of flew by.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't even really felt like we just started, actually.
I know, right? That's what happens when we get talking.
But, before we went to break, we talked a little bit about not seeing the elk and why. And talking with the guy that's going to help me out, he said right now in the area, it's been so hot that they're staying down in the creek bottoms and the lowlands.
Oh.
Where it's cool, staying near the water, which makes complete sense. And where these food plots are, well, with all the rain we've had, if there's food plots in, that means they're on the high ground in open places. So if it's hot, they don't want to be there.
Well, they probably wait till night.
Yeah, come in at night.
Funny you say that. I went and visited the Frankie Moo Zoo.
Mm-hmm.
They do have an elk there, and he was laying in the creek bottom.
Was he?
You just mentioned that, and I'm like,
yeah.
They have like a creek that runs through his pond area.
Yeah.
He's laying right in there.
Staying there where it's nice and cool.
Makes sense now, doesn't it? So
absolutely.
So they probably sit tight most of the day, especially I would say anywhere from 11 to 5.
Right.
Maybe in the morning and late in the evening. But I don't blame them.
Well, and that's kind of why I went out yesterday evening when I got there. I wanted to maximize the time I had left and get up into the area and drive through and see if I could see anything. But even at that point in time, I mean, it was still almost, I think it was 75, maybe 80 degrees. And the wind was blowing. It wasn't super, super hot, but it made sense. And,
Yep.
and I talked to a couple locals I pulled over that they were driving, looking and viewing for elk as well. And hey, you guys see anything? Like, no, we're not seeing anything. I said, yeah, me either. And they said, well, it's it's a little warm, still early in the season. They're down in the bottom, so
right.
That's what everybody's saying.
Tim Sia says, "Are you going to try to get back before you hunt?" Absolutely. You'll be back up there plenty more times.
I know I'll be back up in the area August 10th because we're having a meeting at our deer camp. And when that meeting's over, I'm heading north,
Right.
even further north, up into the elk country.
Charles Byram, what gun are you going with? Will you be on private property since you have a guide?
Don't know on the private property. Could be both, either or. If you look, let me throw the map back up here. Here's the big. This is me this morning. I had my coffee. It was
Hunter's Blend coffee.
Yep, going over everything. But as you can see, the orange outlined area, that is F. The one there is marked F. That is the area that I have a tag for. The white parcels are private land, and the green is public land. And my guide is actually got a couple of leases on some private land.
Okay.
So if we don't hit, and actually, strangely enough, one of the pieces that they have good success with is the 80 acres that my dad used to co-own with him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they've killed over 60 elk through the years on that property.
No kidding.
So he's like, yeah, see what we can do there. I mean, they're going to put cameras out and going to start scouting, and they'll let me know. Start sending some photos. Hey, get y'all amped up and ready to go.
Yeah, get y'all amped up.
So,
that's funny that you literally might end up where you started.
that's what I so hope. You talk about coming back full circle. To think that I'm going to be hunting in the area where, literally, my dad and him and another guy got that land in that cabin in 1968. I was 3 years old. Actually, 2.5. 2.5 going on 3. So, back up there when I was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. I forget what year my dad sold his part out. I think I was 10, 11, 12, somewhere in there. And I went back when he invited us up when I was 17 to go hunt the Green Timber area, and that's where I shot my first buck.
Okay.
Which is literally, if you look in this, let me throw that map back up there. See, guys who listen to podcasts, this is why you've got to go and watch the live stream. But this Green Timber area is literally 4 or 5 miles from that cabin.
Cool.
So I could be right back there where I shot my first buck.
Right, exactly. You might be back there and
to take my first elk.
You might find something you left on the property years ago.
The only thing I think I left there was probably a little skin where I fell down off a little Honda Trail 70 motorcycle. Man, we tore the hillsides up with that thing.
Did
man.
you? That's what you were doing up there. But yeah, no, you might actually end up where you started, which would be kind of cool.
And I've spent a lot of time. I've spent 3 trips up there with Jacob, trout fishing.
Yep.
So here, I took my son back to a place where I cut my teeth, and he likes to fish. And now I'm going back, bringing it back full circle. It's
the circle of hunting.
It's really cool, and that's why I want my dad to come up. I want him to be a part of it. So
that'd be cool if he could make it up.
I'm hoping. Keep my fingers crossed.
Right.
So, but as far as the gun, he asked about a gun.
Yes. What gun are you going to use? I'm
probably going to use my Remington. I take it back. I'm probably going to use my Browning 7mm Rem Mag.
Okay.
That's probably what I'm going to use. It's a little bit bigger than the 30-06, so it's got some more punch, a little longer distance. I can shoot longer distance with it.
Go 270.
Could go 270. Obviously I'll take another rifle with me, so I don't know if I'll take a 270 backup or my 30-06. That's something I've kind of started doing here in the last 5, 6, 7 years, is taking another rifle with you and making sure it's sighted in,
right,
in case something happens. You still got a firearm to use in the field.
Absolutely.
So always do that.
It's funny that they marked on there even the food plots that they put out for the elk.
Yeah. Well, they want people to know where to go, because they want elk to be shot. They want to keep the herd managed, so they make it as easy as it can be for you to be successful.
Right. Exactly.
So it's not many people get this opportunity, so they want to make doggone sure
get a good opportunity.
That you get a good opportunity at it.
Make it worth your while.
Yep.
Because, like you said, 200 out of 40,000.
Yeah, it's. See, I think I had the full blown map here. Yeah, the big map. And in this area, you look at it, it's like, wow, that's a big area. But this really, it's only about. Oh, see, each one of them squares you see.
Mile.
The little squares are a mile. Then the other ones are townships. Across that map, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 36 miles across, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 high. So that's another 24. 36 miles by 24. It's not a real big area.
No, it's not. Not real big at all.
So, and that's the core area. They do venture a little further than that, but not much.
Right, and do you know how many areas they actually do have?
As far as what?
Hunting areas.
You mean for like
zones,
tags?
your different zones.
Well, there's X, which is the outlying area, and then there's F and G. F and G are your late December hunts. The X areas are your too early. I think there's 2 early hunts.
There's 3 hunts total, right?
I think so.
2 early, well, September, October, and December, right?
I have to go check. I don't know. I know there's a September hunt. I know there's a December hunt, and I think if they don't meet their quota, I know there's a later hunt after that. But it seems like there's another hunt in the fall, in the early fall, but I can't remember. But anyway, what they're trying to do is, if you look at the left side of that map, that's I-75.
Yep.
They want the elk to stay east of that.
Yes, they don't want them going over.
And they do cross. I've seen, actually, I watched a bull elk cross the freeway right in front of me.
Especially up towards Mackinac there. That's, the elk signs right there.
Yeah, so that's why they have those hunts in those outlying areas. And as you get around it, like to the east, that's Big Egg area. You know, they want them elk contained in the Pigeon River Wildlife Area.
Yep, exactly. So they want to micromanage them and keep them at bay.
Yep. So, but that's it, man.
Well, it'll be interesting to see when you start getting trail camera photos, and see what he's got up his sleeve to show you, and see how it progresses through. Let's see. This is mid-July, August, September, getting into October.
Yeah, I figure. See, so it's July now. So July 14th is today the 14th?
Yes, it is.
So August, September, October, November, 5 months from today is my hunt.
Is your
5 months
day.
from today is opening day.
There you go. Look at that.
So 5 months away.
You ready? No.
Not even close. You know, the next thing I got to through is I'm gonna start going through gear. You know, going through all my gear. You know, get my heavy winter gear out. Get my my mid-season gear out, because we've seen December. You know, the middle of December, it can be 0, or it can be 40 degrees.
Yes, absolutely.
You never know.
You can have 16 inches of snow or no snow.
No snow. Yeah.
It can be 0 or 40. It could be raining.
Yeah.
It could be take your pick.
Yeah, you never know.
Right, exactly.
So,
and then that's another thing good about being close to your hunting area, is if you do get bad weather that week, you don't have to go far.
Right.
To get, like, if you had to travel over an hour or something, which ends up being like 2 hours, 3 hours.
Yeah.
A lot of that, you get mentally spent just driving that.
Right. Well,
so here,
and I was talking to one of our buddies at deer camp, you know, and he's suggestion was, check Gaylord out. You know, stay in Gaylord. You know, the price of a room down there could be a little cheaper, maybe. These are $85 a night for these little cabins.
Any bit,
which is not bad at all. And it's got a little kitchen so you can cook. If I stay in a hotel down there, that's about a 20 to 25 mile drive.
Okay.
Weather's bad, like you said.
It'll double your drive time.
Plus, you have to get up. You have to find food, eat breakfast. Got to get, all that plays into it. And I'm like, this is about 6 miles from his house.
There you go. So, 6-minute drive, you can be ready with the guide.
Yep.
And be ready to go.
Yep.
Even if there's a little bit of bad weather, it won't be that,
Right.
So, and he's got a truck, it sounds like, so that'd be cool.
Right. So, just trying to maximize and think things through. That's the bigger issue.
And you got 5 months to do it.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? We started working out 9 months ago, and it seems like it was 9 days ago. I mean, time's flown by.
Time has flown by.
And
we'll be back there tomorrow night.
Absolutely.
And I did see a picture of Ken getting out on the trail, working out. I think I don't know if he was hiking or what he was doing with it, but.
Who's that?
Ken.
Cicluna?
Yeah, he posted on our page. He was.
How did I miss that?
How did you?
Was that today?
No. It was a couple days ago.
I missed that.
You did miss it.
I've been so wrapped up in everything this weekend. I was actually offline for about a day and a half. It was kind of cool. When I got up north, I had no internet. It wasn't hooked up. I had to work on that the next day. But
did you see any bald eagles?
No, and I was looking too.
Okay.
No, didn't see any bald eagles.
It's my standard question to you, because I was thinking about that, seeing it over to the lake there.
Yeah, it seemed pretty regular.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, at our place. But I didn't get out a lot. I did my work at camp, and and speaking of camp, we got a few minutes here. I want to go back to what I said at the beginning of the show. We do have a couple memberships open up right now. If anybody out there is in the Michigan area, you don't have to live in Michigan, obviously, but it makes it a lot easier. Looking for a hunting camp to join, get a hold of me. And I'll get you the pertinent information. So, because we're looking for some couple new members. So, what else is going on? Anything?
Not really. Just dog days of summer. You know how it goes. We're trying to get into August.
Shooting the bow?
I did shoot a little bit last week. Felt good to shoot. And then I was playing carpenter all weekend. So
okay. I shot mine a little bit today. Actually stepped out with it. I've been pounding 20 and 30 yards pretty regular, and I wanted to get my sight tape built. So I nailed down 30 yards, got that mark set, and I started stepping back to where I could work my way back to 65. What
two marks are you going to use?
30 and 65 is what
30 and 65.
What Jim over at Spot Shooter wants.
Okay.
So got back to 65 yards.
Nice.
Yeah, that bow it pounds at longer distances. I can't figure out. I think I know why. I'm better at long distance than I am at short distance because I think it's me getting used to that lens.
How do you like the new arrows? There you go.
Like that. It's six. I grouped them. Probably $50 at 65 yards. I was like, whoa, giggity.
Nice feeling. Nice.
I was blown away. That thing it's nice at 65.
Absolutely.
Nice at 50, at 40, 30. 20 and 30, like I said, I'm not as good, and I think it's because of the lens. It's got that magnifier in it, and I'm noticing the drift. There's more drift, obviously, at that shorter distance because you can see a lot more of the target.
Yeah, makes that bullseye big.
Yeah, so
is it 4-power?
4-power, yes.
Yep. Same lenses I got.
I noticed that those arrows they feel just a little heavier than what we were using before at the range. A little more front heavy. So
right, that's what he said. He was going with. He said what grains? 150 grains. 140 grain tip.
But that counts the insert and everything.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
He said normally, by the time you add everything up on 100 grain, you're pushing about 120 with the glue and with the insert.
Right.
So
it's not all free.
Right. It all adds up.
Yeah, exactly. So, but no, just doing the summer thing here.
And this coming weekend, anything?
This coming weekend, not off the top of my head.
We do have a special guest coming next weekend, so stay tuned for that.
Yes,
somebody that we actually met at Outdoor Rama while we were hanging out with the guys from Easy Cut.
Yes. So we're going to have them on, and then in 2 weeks we'll have on another guest. So next 2 weeks we'll have guests on both weeks.
Sounds good. Well, I tell you what, we're bumping up here at the end of the show on the podcast portion, so we'll go ahead and wrap that up. We'll entertain a few questions here at the end of the show on the live stream side of it. So for those of you on the podcast.
And we talked to Tread last week. We'll probably give him a break this week, so we'll probably try to get him in about 2 weeks. Seems to be a good span of time.
Yeah, we do those on Wednesday nights. So if you guys and gals aren't familiar with that, we've been doing some shows with Tread Barta. He's in Alaska. This last week we talked about fishing a lot.
And fishing and literally running into a bear with a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Pretty darn close when you're
face to face
on the ground with a bear.
And it's woofing at you.
Yeah, it's woofing at you.
So,
but anyways,
it's worth the listen.
Exactly. So next week, special guest, probably midweek after that, we'll see if we can get Tread on, talk to him again for episode number 5.
All right. So for those of you on the podcast, y'all take care. We'll be back again next week. Everybody on the live stream, if you got some questions, throw them our way.
Yep.
We'll chat for a few.
Yeah, chat for a few, and then
64% of the people said yes. They've started putting trail cameras out. Can you see how many people voted on it actually?
Let's see if I can see that.
If not, I'll see if I can find it over here.
Oh, you know what? I don't even.
As I save this one off here. Let's see if I can find
See, I
that.
can't find where the. It was up there. Now it's gone.
I think you can click something on it to actually turn.
You know, and
it
that,
on and
that
off.
in getting the cameras out is always fun. I had them out, and hopefully from July to August or September when I pull them again, we'll see some good changes.
So you put them out when you went up, which was
I put them out on Memorial Day,
okay.
and then I pulled the cards and put them out in July 4th. So
You put-
then
okay, and reloaded them.
I'll pull them on Labor Day,
Okay,
and
Gotcha.
Labor Day will set my direction
for what you're going to do for the
for
fall.
where I'll sit.
Okay.
There's the two possibilities. There's a possibility of a new place. I got a new camera there, so that's totally new. But
Isn't that kind of cool though? Because you got this new spot, and it's like can't wait to get the photos back. It's like
Right.
Christmas opening that up.
it's kind of an old spot, but it's because of the
Vlogging.
logging. We shifted a little bit. I thought the deer were going to change, but I don't think they really have changed. They're still traveling the same route.
Okay.
So I said, okay, let's go back there and see what we can do. So let's see what's there.
We did find out our logging is going to be pushed back a little bit again.
Really?
Yeah, because what we've got left is such a small job that we're having a hard time getting it lined up for them to finish it up. So,
Hey, Charles, where are we going to go fishing? We need to plan a UMJ fishing trip for next summer.
actually, he said something about coming over here and doing some salmon fishing on Lake Michigan. And actually,
Oh, okay.
Charles, I talked to, when I told you that the other night on your live stream, I said, let me know. I talked to a guy this weekend about that, and he said, when you want to come over, let us know, and we'll get a charter set up. He says, he'll put you on fish.
You always got to like salmon.
Oh, yeah. So we can make that happen. That'd be a good time. Absolutely.
Had cameras up for 2 weeks, Kyle says. Well, Kyle might have been out since Memorial Day, so I'm on it.
So 2 weeks. So how long ago did he post? Is he still on?
He just popped up.
Okay, Kyle. How long do you go between checking your trail cam? Like you put them out. How long before you go back and check them? You know, is it something you do every couple weeks? Is it something you do every month?
That's a good question. See, for me, it's every couple months. Obviously, it just plays out. That's the way it would be.
Well, even though that I'm usually at our camp a lot, I always wait.
You don't want to go in there. To me, you wouldn't want to go in there every time.
Nope. I'll let them things run for, if I put them out in the spring, I'll let them run usually until August-ish, September-ish. When I'm up there late summer, I'll go back in, I'll pull the cards, I'll freshen up the batteries and put new cards in them. And at that point, depending on what I see, will determine how soon I go back and check them again. If I'm seeing something that's substantial on a regular basis, I may not even go back and check them at
Right.
that spot because I don't want to go in and bust something,
Right. You just go in and that's kind of how we played it last year. We checked our cameras, and then we planned our spots, and the first weekend we were there, we did a good job, but it kind of ruined the rest of the year. But all the big bucks were gone.
Oh, okay. That's something that we've talked about at our camp, talking about working together as a group and trying to maximize the hunt for everybody, and hopefully everybody has a successful season. If you go in, would it bother you if you were tagged out early? Do you feel like if I like Michigan, we get $2, 2 tags, and if it's your place, if you were to take 2 deer and fill them tags, do you feel like you're being cheated out of rifle season? Do you lay off hunting archery season once you're successful?
I got my buck the first weekend of October. So then I had a buck tag going into hunting season. But my expectations weren't. I didn't feel cheat. I wasn't expecting to get one anyways. But
why not?
I just, if I saw one, I was really selective then. I saw the ones on camera and we got those, and then I was like, okay. So now I'm waiting for a traveler deer usually.
Yeah.
And just didn't happen. If I did, let's say if I did get another buck, would I feel cheated? I think I would.
Out of the experience of opening
Yeah.
day.
I think I would shift my focus. Maybe if there was somebody in camp that was new, or
Try to help somebody out.
try to help somebody out,
Yeah.
just to help them with the experience if they needed help.
Okay.
Maybe put somebody in my spot where I thought they'd be.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'd try to still have the experience.
Okay.
It just wouldn't be focused on getting a deer. It would be just shifted, maybe.
Good. Good. I like that answer. That's a good answer.
Because you never want to, I don't want to say cheat yourself out, but you maximize your time. And our time is usually with family.
Mm-hmm.
So, like last year, Nick was up there, and it was the first time he was hunting in years. So I was like, hey, come on, Nick, let's go over here. Let's,
Right.
So I was no problem putting him in a spot and setting him up. So
Gotcha.
yeah. So Kyle says 3 weeks on SD cards at the property, 2 weeks on state game land.
Ooh, he's gutsy. Put cameras on
no,
state game land.
Every day he checks them because he's on a cell camera.
That's different, though. Yeah, that makes it nice.
That's cheating.
No, that's just maximizing your potential.
Well, we're just going on the assumption we don't have cell service because
Yeah.
I don't have cell service on some of my property where I would put a camera.
Yeah, and our place up in Michigan, it's sketchy.
It's really sketchy there.
Yeah.
See, mine at the cabin is sketchy, and if I walk 100 yards, it's 0.
Well, it's same way in Indiana down there where we're going to use the Cuddy Link system, and I know what it is. I'm not real familiar with it, but basically they piggyback off each other up to a central unit, and as long as that central unit's got cell service, it kicks them to the cell.
Okay.
So that's what we're going to use
Cool.
down there.
Good deal. We'll have to see those pictures when they start popping up.
I'm interested in seeing them.
I'd like to see, kind of get the lay of how that system works.
Yeah.
He says it goes to a main receiver.
Yep.
Through all the cameras. So, if you've got, I'm just going to say 6 cameras, does it say that this picture's from the 6th camera?
Yeah, you should be able to tag it.
Yeah,
just
that's
like
what I'm
on any other camera, like, name the camera. And actually, the guy that's helping me with the elk hunt, he was asking about those specific cameras. So
Oh, was he really?
yeah, so he's like, well, he said, let me know how they work. He said, because that's exactly what I'm looking for. Just because of his situation, he's got some real bottom land area, and he wants to use them to piggyback up to get to that cell service, up on the high ground. So
I could do that. That's interesting. I wonder what the distance is.
I don't know. We're gonna find out.
Right, exactly.
So,
All right.
but anything else on there?
Nope, nothing on the live stream except Kyle. He's checking his cameras every day on a cell camera.
All right.
All right.
Well, I think that'll do it for us here this week. We'll be back again next week. We got special guests coming on board, so we'll. Don't want to spoil it though.
No, don't spoil it.
Make them come back.
Make them come back.
But actually, if something happens during the show,
it'll be interesting.
it'll be really interesting because I'll leave it at that.
Right, exactly. So, all right, everybody. We'll see you next week.
All right, y'all take care. We'll be back again, same time, same channel. Y'all take care.